Man, I love that car. So, I'm here at Sean's shop, taking a break from doing some BMW stuff today, and I'm gonna help him clear out his shop a little bit. Um, he's got a few projects that he needs some help with, so I'm gonna give him a hand with those so we can actually do some work on the merkur, which I can show you guys now. Obviously, it's a work in progress. Obviously, it has 5 spokes. Recaro seats out of one of my Subarus. Gray cloth to match the gray leather. Got this big old wing. It's dirty. It's moldy. Its nickname is the Moldy Merkur. But this thing is sick. After I help Sean, we'll see if we can get this hood up. Because it's not connected. It's not on the hinges or anything, so... But... definitely want to show you guys what we got going on under there. Got the aftermarket intercooler. More parts that I stole off my Subaru. This is an oil cooler, which actually goes in this cutout in the grill. We got glass headlights for it. It's really a work in progress, but we're making the progress. Yeah, so here we go. We got the Xr4 turbo. Just I mean, it's an eBay wastegate, but it'll do for now until we replace it with something better. Got a tubular manifold, custom intercooler piping. It is already plumbed for nitrous. Don't worry about the wiring. We're still dialing that in, but yeah, pretty sick. Custom intake. So we got it up on the lift. I lied. That's not an oil cooler. I mean, it cools oil, but it goes to the power steering. We got a full 3-inch straight pipe. We need to drop the tank to make sure that the fuel pump is working and add an access door so that we don't have to drop the tank again to check on the fuel pump. We also got this Xr4ti knuckle setup to make a custom angle kit for the front. Two straps, 2 lines, 1 connector. Super simple. Nice. Perfect, dude. now Friday. A couple days later, I ended up having to help my mom set up for an event that she helps the town throw every year. It's for overdose and addiction awareness, so it's always a good cause to help out with. So going back to Sean's today to help finish up with the fuel system on the merkur. We got in the last couple clips you saw that the tank is pulled. We installed the trap door, and yesterday I went and got hardware for the nitrous bottle installation, and I got more gas because upon removal of the tank, we noticed that there's not much gas in the tank at all. So that's part of the reason why we wanted to add an access door, because it's an aftermarket tank. It's actually a tank from a Fox body Mustang, and so the level sensor is a different reading. It's different ohms, but not only is it different ohms, but it's the reverse. So we just need to figure out some wiring in that aspect, or figure out a level sending unit that is going to work with our chassis so that we can see how much fuel is in the car. So we're going to put it all back together today, and hopefully that will fix the fuel pressure drop issue with actually having fuel in the tank. So it'd be pretty funny if we waited all this time and it was just a matter of it needed fuel. But regardless, it's a good thing that we put the trap door in so that we never really have to drop the tank for another fuel pump issue again. So I'm going to drive over there and I'll pick you guys up when we are back at it. Making a mount for the battery. That's going to go up through here.
And he's like, listen, I'm here with Prince. Would you like to meet him? I'm like, I know Prince. That's my nigga. And
Battery's going to lay down this way. Positive goes there. Negative goes there. And there's the battery.
I didn't know the protocol of meeting royalty, and I'm supposed to.
So that's going to keep it from sliding back, and then we're going to have a strap going over the top to keep it down. And it's going right in this little pocket right here. And we have a mat that goes over the top, so it'll be out of the way. So we've got the battery mount all set. We just took a break. We went and got some pizza. Nitrous bottle is going to be mounted soon, but we noticed it had a draw, and we thought it might have been from these wires that were nicked, which it wasn't. We thought it might have been from here, which it wasn't, and it ended up being the starter shorted internally. So we also went to the parts store, dropped off the starter, ordered a new starter to replace that, hopefully under warranty, and that should fix the draw, and we can put it all back together. So I'm back home. In the last clip you saw that we ordered a new starter that should hopefully be in tomorrow. On top of the starter being shorted internally, that wasn't our only problem. So the starter was shorted internally. We thought the starter solenoid might have also failed, but that ended up testing good. We basically had four wires that needed to get checked. So we have a kill switch in the car, and it was essentially had a massive draw from between the kill switch and the starter solenoid. So it was either one of the wires from the kill switch to the solenoid, or one of the wires from the alternator to the kill switch, or from the fuse box to the kill switch, or from the there's another power wire that goes straight from power into the ECU. And we actually didn't know where that wire ended up. We only knew that it needed to have power. So after tracing that wire, we took all of the wires out that were attached to the starter solenoid and checked each of them. The only one that was shorted to ground was the starter wire, which was the starter, and this other wire which goes to the ECU. Now, we were kind of confused because it was all the factory wiring, and it just happened like out of the blue. It ended up being that, so we've been having this fuel pressure issue where we give it throttle or we try to go into boost in first gear, and the fuel pressure drops. It almost felt like it was hitting a boost cut or a fuel cut or something along those lines. But so it wouldn't cut while idling and free revving, but it would cut if you are if the motor is under load. So what we came to the conclusion of is the fuel pump is failing, right? So in that time of trying to diagnose that issue of the fuel pressure drop, we had tested the aftermarket ECU versus the factory ECU to see if there was still that pressure drop with both ECUs, to see if it was a tuning issue or a software issue or maybe a wiring issue. Like we weren't sure. After pulling the pump, or not pulling the pump, but pulling the tank down and seeing that there's no fuel in it, we decided that we're gonna finish up all the, or re-tidy up all the wiring, try and see if we can fix the sending unit so we can have a gas gauge so this issue doesn't happen again, where we're, losing fuel pressure and we don't know why. It was just low on gas. Well, we don't know this yet, but I have a strong feeling that it was just a matter of us being low on gas. So we'll be able to test that hopefully tomorrow if we can get the sending unit fixed, because we don't want to put the tank back up until we figure out the sending unit, because the pump is on this side of the tank and the sending unit is on this side of the tank. So if we put the tank back up, we're not going to be able to get to the sending unit. The trapdoor is only over the fuel pump assembly. So we need to figure out the sending unit before we put the tank back up, so that we don't have to drop the tank again to try and figure out the sending unit issue. But back to the wiring. So since we had been trying to figure out like why the fuel pressure was dropping, and we did have like the ECUs swapped back and forth a couple times. The ECU plug has a like plastic locking plate in it, which locks the pins in place. And without that locking plate in it, the pins are able to slide out if they're not perfectly aligned and go back into place right. So what ended up happening after, we traced the wire that's shorted to ground back to the ECU, I looked at the ECU and I could see that there was a wire, and I could see the metal pin at the end of the wire, and it was touching the case of the ECU. And the case of the ECU is touching the floor of the car. So the case of the ECU was grounded. It was grounded. And the wire was touching the case of the ECU, so that is where our short to ground was. So we found all of the shorts to ground. We're gonna put all of the wiring back to how it's supposed to be. We're gonna reinstall the kill switch. We're gonna go get the starter, put a new starter in. Try to see if we can figure out the sending unit wiring, and then if we can figure out the sending unit wiring, we will put the tank back up. If we can't figure out the sending unit wiring, we are just going to like rig the gas tank under the car, and then just like not install it, but just have it sitting there, put some more gas in it, and just confirm that it was just a low gas problem. If it's not a low gas problem, then we have to either find a new power source for the fuel pump. It's either not getting enough amperage, or the wiring is just too old and it's cutting out under power, or under load, I should say. And then the other possibility could be that the fuel pump is just failing and can't supply more fuel when the ECU is demanding more fuel. So we made a lot of progress today. We got a lot done on the Merkur. I think going forward, I'm going to try and go down there a couple days a week and just try and make some progress on the car, just because I know personally I would love to get the car to the track this year. Even if we don't get to drift it this year, it would be cool to at least like make a pass down the drag strip or something, just to see what the car can do. And even more than that, I just want to get the car to the dyno, because that turbo with similar fueling on my 2.5 liter BMW motor made like 305, 310, something like that at 10 psi. And so we'll probably push it to like 20 psi with this car, just because it's a factory turbo motor. So the motor is Sunshine. Stop barking. So the turbo is designed, so the motor is designed to actually handle the boost that is being put into it. So we're gonna turn it up a little bit. The turbo is, they say it's good for 450 horsepower. I'm pretty sure that's crank horsepower. So after drivetrain losses, I'm hoping that we can make 350 at the wheels. I don't know if we're gonna go tune the nitrous setup right away, but I'm thinking we can do 350 at the wheels. If we can do more, that would be amazing, but 350 at the wheels in that car, I feel like is going to be a really good time. So super happy with the progress today. Hopefully we can make more progress tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoy the Merkur content. I really like that car. I think it's going to be a sweet addition to the fleet, and I'm I'm just excited to see it out on track because you don't see them. I've literally only seen one of them drifting. One. I've only seen one. Obviously, I've seen videos of them online, but in person, I've only seen one Xr4ti that is a drift car. So I think it'll be cool to be out there in something that's a little bit different than what everybody else has. The 2.3 Ford motor is it's a pretty well known. They have lots of aftermarket support, so I think it'll be a good car if we can figure out like getting the chassis right. And then, I mean, if it makes a crappy drift car, it'll make a great drag car. So I'm glad I'm finally able to make a little bit of progress on this car, and hopefully we can keep it going and get it out to the track this season. But I'm rambling. That's going to do it. I'm tired. Peace.